art and character designs provided by Demon Artie. Be sure to follow her over on Twitter at ArtieDemon. Want to be first to have access to early artwork, concept sketches, exclusive art that can't be seen anywhere else? Then support Demon Artie over on her Patreon. Link in description below. Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 Podcast. I am your host, Crimson Sin. Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord. Link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. So Noelle Stevenson's long-awaited memoir, which is crazy to think about that because she's not even 30 yet. The Fire That Never Goes Out, a memoir and pictures by Noelle Stevenson. I was debating about getting this or not, and then I did, and I'm like, okay, if I buy it, I'm going to do a review. It's basically Noelle Stevenson's life from 2011 to 2019, and it's just like mini excerpts from like her life. And that's basically the whole gist of it. It wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting to be a lot more like political stuff because I'm like, it goes through the Trump era. I'm like, oh, she's going to have something to say. She doesn't even mention politics, not once, not really. I'm trying to think. Never mention of Republicans or just her parents are conservative, like religiously conservative. It's mainly just all her mental problems. And this is where I'm drawing a line of like what. Because normally I will, like, if you're anyone who watches my cartoon reviews, I'll go scene for scene, and people call it nitpicking. People call it, oh, you're just worrying about living. But that's what I do. I will dig into every aspect of it. I think it's a little inappropriate here because this is a real person and not just like a character or, a storyline that I can pick apart. This is this young woman's life, and I'm not making fun of her. And right up to, I dislike Noelle Stevenson's work most of the time. She does a good thing every now and then and draws a decent picture every once in a while. But overall, I dislike her art style. I dislike her storytelling way she does things. But as Noelle Stevenson as a person, I do not hate her. I want her to be well. I want her to have mental stability. I don't want her to hurt herself or see her get hurt in any way. I don't want that for anybody. So I don't want any of this like, oh, you just hate her. No. I hate her work. You can separate the art and the artist. And since this is literally about the artist, I find myself just in a weird spot because if I'm criticizing like these little comics, but they're literally about her. So if I say, oh, the character, but it's Noelle's the character. But let's take this from an entertainment value. Why would someone pick this book up? You're a huge fan of Noelle Stevenson. She's done some stuff. There's a lot of bad decision making, a lot of I want to say, without being mean, she blames a lot of people for her problems. She has a lot of insecurities, and then it's funny the tonal shifts where she's talking about being alone and sad, and she can't connect with anybody. But then she'll see people try to connect with her, and then she pushes them away. So we're supposed to feel bad for you that you literally admitted that there's people who try to help you, but you refuse their help. Then what do you do with someone like that? See, if this was a character in a show, I will like dissect it, but this is a real woman. You got to let people help you, Noelle. When we get to the end of the book, it's a kind of a happy, it's not an ending because she's still very, very young, but she's starting to turn it around a little bit. If everything in this book is to be taken for truth, she's starting to get more help. But from 2011 to 2019, she kind of just does everything on her own and just makes tons and tons of mistakes. I guess I can point out some of the stuff here, like her parents are very religious. So, and then she kind of just became an atheist. And she tells a story about the first time she walked out of church and then like, is there some embellishment here? I don't know. Do I have to take all of this as a 100% fact? Maybe she remembers it differently than it actually happened. I don't know. But like, oh, when I walked up this hill and the moon, and I called out for help, but there was no answer. It's so melodramatic. I'm thinking there's some creative licensing here. Did she leave this church? Yes. Did she cry in her car? I guarantee it. Did she do this whole thing walking up the hill and seeing the deer and all that? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. But she does say stuff about like, oh, I have a demon inside of me. And this is 2011. So this is like her sophomore year. She had a lot of issues that no one was there to help her. And I have a huge family and all kinds of personalities and everything. You got to be there for your family. So as much as you are in control of yourself and your feelings and your thoughts, I can't help but blame the family a little bit for not doing a better job. You got to work hard. This isn't just some stranger. This is your daughter. This is your sister. This is a sibling, a family member. You got to work hard, and it sucks. Sometimes it feels like it's hopeless, but you never give up. From the way that this is presented, it kind of feels like the family members didn't try all that much, even though that there's times where she says that they do, but she pushed them away. You keep doing it, no matter how many times they push you away. But they kind of leave her to her own devices. She used to be a cutter. Self-harm is never the answer. I don't want this to become a couch psychiatrist, but just being an older brother myself, if I had a younger sister that was doing these kinds of things, you have to be in their lives. Then she started, she has these mood swings, and she even talks about them. And, you blame yourself for everything, but then you end up blaming everyone else. She goes this back and forth. She kind of self-diagnoses a bipolar thing. As soon as someone starts talking this way, you need to help them. Take them to an actual psychiatrist. Take them to a doctor. And the way that it's presented, her parents didn't believe her. No one cared. But you got to help them. That's a lot of things. Like she just didn't have a lot of help. Minor things. She talks a lot about moving out and living alone and stuff. I'm thinking to myself, whoa. How did you do all this? It's expensive. And it's just, I don't know. I'm assuming her parents paid for a lot of this stuff. And so for as much as she hated their parents, she didn't mind taking their money. Oh man, there's a lot there, but you do what you got to do, right? 2011, she starts talking about how her Tumblr career took off, and here's some of the art. This second picture isn't bad. I don't mind it. It's kind of cute, but look at that. She starts talking about superheroes and stuff like that, and I guess she drew the Lord of the Rings people just like as bros, modern day, and this got her 1,000 followers. I mean, look at this. It's not horrible, but it's not good. I couldn't say, that's a funny little thing you would see scribbled in, someone's high school, in the margins of a textbook. But to gain all this notoriety, I don't know. But even though she gained all these followers, she still has this hole inside of her. And that's another aspect that I noticed, that all this fame and fortune and notoriety, it never filled this hole inside of her. Leaving her religious life behind. Turning her back on her parents didn't fill this hole. All the relationships that she had didn't fill this hole. All the likes and loves on Tumblr and all the shares doesn't fill this hole. There's something inside of you that you have to love yourself. And that just seems a problem, even to modern times. At the end of the thing, I don't even think she's gotten to that point. And this is a 10-year journey, and it stays the same. Then there's stuff that just doesn't make any sense, like why this made the cut. She's was working somewhere, and there was an earthquake, and nothing happened. But what it felt like, it was all crazy, but nothing bad happened. There's time devoted to stuff like that literally adds nothing. Oh, you experienced some aftershocks. Oh no, poor Noelle. I don't know what to say. That is not very entertaining for anybody. There's stuff like this. The woe is me is at max. The meters, you pegged the meters there, Noelle, and I think it kind of snapped and it spun around a couple times. Woe is me. Feel bad for me. Woe is me. Even after she starts getting all this notoriety, she's still very woe is me. She gets into, there's actually, this chapter actually pertains to her art style. Why all the characters in She-Ra look the way they do. She ended up taking a life drawing class, but with nude models. There's nudity in this book, but it's so poorly drawn. I don't even think it's an issue. But oh, look at these ladies with hairy legs and kind of not model perfect bodies, and how I love the armpit fat. And there's the tonal shifts I was talking about. She goes from her armpit fat fetish to telling a story about how she would save this little boy in her dreams. She would have these recurring nightmares, and she would save this little boy from all these things. But one time he dies, and then she realized this is the brother I never had, and he died. That sounds like a plot to a game. And then I was talking to people in my Discord. Again, join my Discord. I kind of did a live reaction. As I was reading it, I was posting my thoughts and feelings. And people oh, that's the plot to a video game. I never played, what was it, Life is Strange? Is that what they said it was? I never played those games. It's did this happen, Noelle? Or is this oh, this sounds really good, and I'm going to, fudge it a little bit. It's something like this might have happened. She might have a nightmare about a little boy, but it's reoccurring and all these extra things. I'm feeling there might be a little bit of embellishment here. These are just her feelings. I don't mind being alone, but she always complains about being alone, but she hates being alone. And I washed dishes and got wet one time. Again, this is a whole page. That's 2011. 2012 starts talking about how her broship of the rings, that thing with all the Lord of the Rings characters normal dudes, how that made her get super famous. And then she wanted to start her sequential art class like comic books. What's the name of the one she did? Nimona? Is that how you say it? Nimona. I don't know how you say it. Nimona. And I remember seeing this a little bit. It's not the art. If you like this kind of art, I guess you're going to love it. But this is how she first started. That was this year, and having to wanted to make it into like a full thing instead of just doodles and stuff. As you notice, all her characters look like her. That's a trope of hers. Every character she's created is some type of her. Especially even going down to like hairstyles and attitudes. There's just always, everyone who's ever created anything, any OCs, you thought of a story in your mind, there's a little bit of you in everything you create. But she takes it a little too far. Talking about internships and everything and how getting recognized by Boom Studios. I just feel bad for the people who have such good art and they go nowhere. But this is what gets noticed. In 2012, one of her pieces got accepted to the Society of Illustration Student Scholarship Show, and I actually like this art. This is pretty cool. This could be a cover of I like this. But literally right underneath it, also drew some Pokemons, and she spelt it wrong to be funny. Do you think the same people drew these two pictures? Why can't you do more of this? This looks great. I love this. How she needed somewhere to live because she in LA. So she moves a lot. For someone who complains about having no money, being poor, but has moved a bazillion times, lives by herself, pays all the rent and all the utilities. She kind of alludes that her parents paid for things, but she never comes out and outrightly says it. I'm assuming her parents paid for everything. Again, I hate my parents, those stupid religious people, but I'll take your money. She ended up living with these two people. There's a lot of concern. I'm an older brother. I don't know if I would want my younger sister just bouncing around LA. We all know how horrible LA is, the Harvey Weinstein capital of the world, where, a young woman bouncing around from place to place trying to make it in the entertainment industry. I don't like any of this. And I don't know if anything's ever happened to her. I pray to God that nothing ever happened to her. But I can't help but think someone who has emotional problems in LA, that's a predatory place, that things happen to her. And I sincerely pray none of those things happen to her. But she talks about moving on and being in LA, and she loved LA. Man, did she love it. This is the concerning thing, like I just said. This is LA was very kind to me. I got lots of messages from internet strangers inviting me places. Woo, 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 red flags. So she would go to random places with people she didn't know, and she loved it. I'm not sure all of them expected me to say yes, but I was pretty desperate for friends and ended up meeting loads of new people, and every single one of them was great. She's either the luckiest girl on the planet, or I don't know. Going to go watch. She went to Antia Sarkeesian's place. Ugh. You can't pay me. You'd have to pay me like $1 million to hang out with that lady. A drink and draw at Pennington Ward's house, watching Jurassic Park at a cemetery, to Bad Robot's 4th of July party. I'm trying to, I just hope nothing bad happened to her at these places, and people weren't taking advantage of her. I really hope that wasn't happening. But talking about how she went to Comic-Con and, but at the same time, the summer was over, so the internship was over, she tried to go back home, and how much she hated it. This Charlie guy doing everything in the world to get her published, gets her a job, gets her a publishing deal at HarperCollins, which is ridiculously hard to do. But this art, this would get you a HarperCollins. I don't know. There's some hardcore nepotism going on here. 2013, she starts to work out, starts to more of the darker stuff, stuff like this. That's just angry, nasty monster in me, and I like to hurt people. This is the demon in me. And for someone who doesn't believe in religion or anything, sure, you think there's a lot of demonic things in your life, but none of those things exist, right? So we just kind of move on with her life, and she meets friends in 2013, talking about how she never really gets she can never have any real relationships, like physical, like a sexual relationship. She just none of it ever works out. Every time she has a boyfriend or anything, it always falls apart. Again, moving again. She moved when she went back home after internship. She moved back to LA, got some job at some talent agency, and meeting people. And I'm guessing she dated this guy, but it doesn't go into any real detail. And then the next thing you know, she's not in a relationship anymore. So we have no idea how this thing went in or out. She's doing more stuff with that her webcomic. 2014 rolls around. She moves again. She moved so many times. 2015. She does this weird poem about the clouds, about how when I was a kid, I always wanted to touch a cloud, but clouds are just water. And I don't know if I'm going to read this, and I'm assuming, is she talking to God here? Because, but You find out soon enough that you can't touch clouds. They're nothing but condensation, cold and wet, and not fluffy at all. This is what my love is like. You are nice to see from an airplane window, but I am safe here. So that was God in the beginning. So this is her talking. Now, this is just my interpretation. And then in her talking back to God, I can't touch you. And if I tried, there's nothing there. Just coldness, wetness, and a sickening drop. I know you'll never love me. That's okay. That's why I chose you. I only wanted the desire, more of the risk. She's a sad lady. But there's always a part of me that doesn't understand, doesn't know this isn't real. And I dream of flying. I can touch the clouds and they never ever thought it would be. You forget it isn't real. And when you wake up, the ache you thought was gone is still there after all. You'll never fly like that. And the clouds are only water. You can't be this, of course we all know clouds are water, but who cares? If you think they're fluffy, even though you'll never touch one, think it. You're not hurting anybody. You don't need to bring yourself down like this. Like, why make yourself sad? For what reason? Then we get to see all the different, she does this a couple times, like this evolution of herself. We're up to 2015. Then she just wins all these awards and all these things and all look at all these awards she has. She's going to all these different events. She's being recognized and loved and praised to no end, but she's not. She's just as unhappy as she was back in 2011. So all these accolades, the deal with HarperCollins, none of this made her happy. So maybe this never-ending praise wasn't such a good thing for her because she's still all ripped up inside. And you see a lot of, at this point in her life, you see a lot of glimmer. The way that she draws herself is the way she draws glimmer. She moves out again. The 6 millionth time she moved out. And then she ended up living by herself again. So this roommate, all her roommates leave. I don't like this way of thinking. Oh, like she's been hurt. So now I'm as hard as diamonds and they're using to cut other people. They're like your sharp, hard, shiny crystals. So did you. You thought maybe if you acted it out, you would feel the fire again, but you never did. Did you actually want to? Why are you doing this anyways? Your heart doesn't feel broken. You feel guilty. The truth is you don't mind being alone. If you didn't mind, you wouldn't do any of this. It's one of those things where I can't help but think, you honestly do care to be alone because you wouldn't keep saying it. You wouldn't keep, she's brought this up multiple times. And I feel bad for her because she really needed somebody. And this is where a family member who doesn't turn their back and run because any person who was just like a friend, this is a lot for a regular friend to deal with. She needed real hardcore family that's going to take all the slings and arrows because that's what you do for family. At least that's what my family. She starts falling in love and which assuming is her current wife now. I'm thinking because it kind of looks like her. This is the pictures. I think this is her. So this is 2016 and I don't like this. This is, I don't know what it's like to feel this way. All of us have been sad and depressed. At one time in our life, there's always been bad events. But to steep this low in yourself and to admit it, I mean, she falls in love with this girl. So they end up kind of having a couple one night stands or whatever. She probably was in a bunch of relationships. She alludes to like being in a bunch of different relationships. So sleeping around a lot, but not finding any happiness in it because no one ever does. But one girl decides to like stay, instead of just leaving every night. She knows it was wrong. And I'm thinking, but she kept calling. She just kept coming over. It was like this whole like, oh, so they're going to start being in a relationship. And this, for me personally, this is an absolute deal breaker. She's in bed with this woman and then she's texting some guy. Oh, let me text him goodnight. So she's still in this relationship with this other guy. That's a soul crusher because anybody, you are worth more than to be someone's side thing. Man, woman, whatever. It doesn't matter. Trans, none of that matters. As a human being, you deserve the love of another human being. Not to be this, it's fun to sleep with you, but oh yeah, I still have my real love on the side. You're better than that, Noelle. You shouldn't have stayed. She ends up marrying this girl. I'm thinking it's her, ends up marrying her. But like, my God, because then we see stuff like this. And an Eagle Eye member on my Discord's like, wait a second, there's someone else in that bed. So as we zoom in here, we see that Noelle is sleeping on the couch while her girlfriend is with her boyfriend. Oh, man, I don't know. I wouldn't know how that would feel. I would never want anyone to be in the position to be sleeping on a couch and on the other side of the wall, the person you love and care about is sleeping with someone else. Talk about I don't know. But she tries to leave, but the girl comes back and ends up sleeping on the couch with her. You're not a good person. This other girl's that's terrible to do this to two different people, to do this to that guy or other person, and to do this to Noelle. That was horrible. But, she kind of stays in this relationship, and I guess it kind of grows to the point to where she leaves that other person and is just with Noelle, which is good, which is someone should just be with you. You should be enough. If you're not enough for someone, that's not a good relationship. We're up to 2016, and again, as we can see, she's still hollow. So she got the girl she loved, all those awards, comic book being produced, published, all these things, still empty inside. Dumping religion, empty. Going to art college, living her loser family, empty. Going to LA, doing all this fun stuff with people, empty. Getting a book publishing deal, getting recognized awards, all kinds of awards, empty. Finds the woman that she loves, is with her and everything, empty. There's something wrong with you, Noelle. And this time she's still blaming everyone else for all her problems. Then this is the one time where I thought, because she hasn't been political at all. Once. I'm like, no Trump, no nothing. She does bring up the Pulse nightclub shooting. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go. But I will give her credit. She doesn't go into an anti-gun tirade. She's just sad that it happened. You know what? I'll give you that, Noelle. You didn't go where I thought you would go. You subverted my expectations. So she just talks about the people who died, and then she went to a parade, but she wore all black for all the people that were killed, which is a horrific tragedy. No one should be killed for just loving somebody. No matter if you agree or disagree with the lifestyle, no one deserves to be killed for it, one way or another. Doesn't matter. So she saw some older lady I'm a mom and I want to give people hugs. So that was nice. And that's the end of that. It's literally 2 pages and that's it. Wow. I am shocked that she didn't go into this, Bernie Sanders-esque, abolishing all weapons and da-da-da-da. No, she was just expressing how she felt sad. Nice. I like that. It was good. And I think it was healthy for her to talk about it. But after that moment, she used to think, life and there's death everywhere. Here's the thing. People die. And it's sad, but that's the mortal coil we all live in. We were born and then we'll die. We all share that. No human being, whoever was, is, or ever live, won't have that experience. You're going to be born and you're going to die. So it's not like something you should let, shatter your life. It's just part of it. You can't, the sun up, sun down. It just happens, but it happens a lot slower for humans but just think of it that way. There's a time for everything. And sometimes you don't get to choose the time. But she got more grateful for everything. So there she is. Oh, it's a cute little picture, her cat and dog and her girlfriend. Then we get to 2017 and look, we start seeing that Adora hairstyle, the little poofy bun thingy. So this is where this is Adora. I mean, could you not, if you show these, look at Adora working out. That's exactly what it would look like. She doesn't talk a lot about She-Ra. I really wanted that to be, because that's Glimmer. Right? That's Glimmer. But she talks about, am I really an evil person? Oh, don't I like to taste the blood? Get over that. You're a human being. Everyone gets sad all the time. More woe was me. I don't like to wear dresses. Yeah, you do. Just wear a dress. It's okay. It doesn't matter. No one cares. If you're gay, you want to wear a dress, wear a dress. If you're straight, you want to wear a dress, wear a dress. If you're trans, you want to just wear a dress. If it makes you happy, just do it. You don't have to prove it. There's no, I want to say, dress code for your sexuality. If you're queer, if you're not, whatever, do what makes you happy, because you wouldn't draw these kinds of things if you didn't do it. She talks about how this was nice about the Easter in 2017, about how their family contacts her. How's it going? Everything's like, does grandma know I have a girlfriend? Because you know how grandparents are, no, the gays. But her grandma accepts her and everything. Oh, that's nice. That's good. She needed more of that in her life. And I guess her grandpa died, and that was super sad for her. But the grandpa accepted her. I like that. That was good. We get to 2017, the year in review. She does this whole, I'm talking to my younger self, but this didn't really happen. Oh yeah, you're super gay. She did the thing that Jean Grey did to Iceman. But no, this is a real thing. She still has the hole in her. Even though she tells her all the things that happened good in her life, she still has this hole inside of her. So I'm thinking, man, I don't know if I would tell my younger self that. I don't know, but it's okay. 2018, look at that. She's wearing a She-Ra thingy. So this is when she starts doing She-Ra, and she talks about her D&D characters. Oh, she's awful. Oh, these are awful. I would love to have played D&D with Noelle just once, just to see how terrible at it she was. She really seems like the person that would really test the DM. Constantly saying weird things and doing dumb stuff and, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to roll for this. And then just like making the game weird and making it about her and not about the campaign experience. Good D&D players realize there's more than one player. And you kind of have to give and take. She seems to me like someone that would take over the whole show. But she talks about her D&D characters, and this is Glimmer. Look at the art and even the storyline behind her. Oh, former child star. All these bad things happen to her. Oh, but she has to be the mother of the group and everything. Glimmer. Like her parents dying, and now she has to take all this, but here it's like a divorce and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, Glimmer. So much like Glimmer. But, and then, okay, we're going to start talking about She-Ra now. She never talks about it really. She talks about the cartoon she's been working on is finally being made. But she never says She-Ra. There's some She-Ra pictures, but we never actually see it. Talking about getting older and stuff, but she says about getting older, and then even now, this is after She-Ra's being made. She's a showrunner. The job so many people would love to tell a story, to be given the reins. Here, create a world for people to enjoy. She's picking her scabs and still cutting and stuff. You gotta fix you, man. You got to fix you. That's never a good thing. That's like, and this is while she's with her girlfriend. She's going through all this like mental stuff and everything, and I feel bad for her fiance here at the time. But more, all this fire is burning me inside and all that stuff. This was in the previews. Like if you look through the stuff that was shared like on websites, this is the stuff that they showed. She gets to the whole thing about like, oh, am I going to burn out? It's funny. There's some stuff here like about like, oh, am I going to be able to take the pressure? Am I being able to create something to people who want to see my work? She never says it outrightly, but somewhere deep inside, she has to know a lot of her success came from her, not her abilities, just from her status. Lesbian, woman, anti-Christian, all that stuff, that gave her more opportunities in this industry than her actual talents. And I will believe that to the end of the day. There's so many people that is their claim to fame. So she's starting to feel, she doesn't say that's what she's feeling, but I'm assuming she has to know. Now, this is the part where I'm going to put this poem up here. I really disagree with this. I couldn't disagree with this anymore. Take a breath as well as you can and prepare for careful climb down. She's talking about, oh, you made it top of the mountain. Now you people don't die at the top of the mountain. They die on the way down. You have a long life still to live, which she does. Many more mountains to climb. Love your younger self and let them die. No, sorry. You grow up. There's parts of your younger self that you can never do. Being a little crybaby and whining about things, but you never let them die because they're you. That's like letting you die. You can't let your thoughts and feelings and emotions just die. You don't let them control you. You don't let them overtake you, but they're always there. And to say you let them die, you can't unless you somehow went into your brain and zapped out your memories. They're always there. No matter how much you try to kill it, they're always there. But there's still that fire and that burning and how things, still has these uneasy feelings. Then literally basically ends with her wedding when she finally got married. She, for all much she hates church and she wanted to get married, she always the family always got married in the family church. But of course, with her lifestyle choice, they weren't going to be able to get married in that church, which is fine. That's their right. I wouldn't want to force any religious institution to perform something that they don't believe in. It could be Christian, it could be Methodist, Muslim, Hindu, anything. I wouldn't want to force any lifestyle on a religious institution that doesn't believe in it. And that goes across the board. So you're going to have to get married different, but that's fine. You made a choice and that's what you want to do. But she talks about, I look stupid in a dress. No, you look pretty in a dress. It's just, you fooled yourself into thinking feminine is weakness and it's not. She wears a dress and then she sees her wife and then there's their wedding photo and it's super cute. And that's the end of it. She did talk about how, here we go, right before the wedding. And this is, I went on medication. I thank you, Noelle, because you needed it. You needed it a long time ago. And I'm glad that you're alive and you seem to be happy now. You seem to have more control of your feelings and emotions, which is a good thing. And seeing a doctor and facing these problems is what you should do. This self-diagnosis, this self-medicating, it never works. You got to get help from the outside. And here's a little bit of I'm going to read this little part here, but it's like, okay, it would have been worth it anyways, but being on medication has no way lessening my capacity of feeling or creating, because she kind of thought, oh, if I don't take medication, it's going to take away my creativity. No, it won't. It's going to make you a better person. And it actually made creating easier. It made my feelings stronger and more because I know that they're real. See, I like this. This should be the message of the story. Get help. See a doctor. And if you're having these types of emotions, these empty feelings, these burnings inside, these I feel like I have no connections, I'm not worth loving, see a doctor. See someone, have a good circle of friends, things that people can help you through this. But this took her, 10 years? 9 years to get on this problem? I wonder what she would have been like if she would have been helping herself from the beginning. That's the end of it. I don't know how much I'm going to edit of this and how much I'm taking out. It's interesting to learn a little bit more about Noelle, why her characters are the way they are, because they're just a lot like her. Glimmer, Adora, Catra, you can see them having all these kinds of problems because she had all these kinds of problems. It's not the best way to tell a story. It's a way to tell a story, but I think she does a little too much. And I sincerely hope and I pray that Noelle stays happy, stays healthy, and can have a long, caring life with her partner, with her wife. I don't wish any ill will on anybody, but I do want better cartoons. And I do honestly believe that almost anybody else could write a better She-Ra than her. But that's this review. If you like her, I'm assuming you're going to love this. If you don't like her, you get to learn a little bit more about her. I don't know. I can't recommend or not recommend this. I don't know. You have to make that decision for yourself because it just feels. I just felt weird this whole time doing this. So I gotta end this before I have nothing else to say. But thanks for watching, guys. And Noelle, again, stay happy. Do your best. Crimson Saint here. Thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single upload. If you have any tips or story ideas, hit us up on Twitter at C15Podcast, or better yet, join our Discord server, link in the description below.